We also talked about 4 ways of measuring success. Who would take that?
I think I can take that one because when I heard that statement, the first thing that came to my mind was I remembered somebody saying, if you don't measure it, it doesn't exist. And okay, this is a quite metaphorical, right? But I would actually like to add on that if you don't measure it well, or if you don't measure the right thing, then you really can be in trouble, right? And I've seen so many times some L&D initiatives failed because they relied on, for example, the happy sheets, the post-training satisfaction surveys only, instead of tracking whether learning led to a real change. And this could really be dangerous because if there's no insight into whether the training actually improved performance, then it's also very difficult to justify the investment, the ROI. But yeah, learning measurement is not easy. Like maybe measuring other things is not easy. Um, but there are a few maybe simple, easy ways how to do it. Where I usually start is I always ask for the pre-learning data. Because without the before snapshot, the before picture, you cannot really prove the result after. You cannot compare, but once you have it, you can actually show if there was a change or not. If there was not a change, then you can decide what you want to do. You want to continue, pivot, kill it, try something else. So that would be my starting point. And then as the next step, Rose actually already mentioned this, is the Kirkpatrick model. It is very common in many organizations. Yet a lot of L&D initiatives only rely on the first few levels. So the level 1 is about the reaction to the learning of the learners. So did they like the experience? Was it engaging? The level 2 is about the learning itself. So did the learners acquire the intended knowledge or skill, and did it meet the learning objectives? So often we stick to these 2 levels, but then there's also level 3, 4, 5. Level 3 talks about behavior. So are they actually applying what they learned on the job? It's maybe a little bit more difficult to measure, but you can still do this by manager observation or these 30, 60, 90-day check-ins or these peer reviews we discussed. Then level 4, the results. So we need to measure the results. So it's getting a bit harder because here we are probably connecting to the business outcomes, the business performance. So what you could do, though, is to really ask what are the business KPIs, and you can link that learning initiative and the result of that initiative to those. So things like performance, productivity, customer satisfaction, error rates or accident rates. Another point could be to look at return on expectation, so so-called ROE. So did the training deliver the change that we wanted it to deliver, that we expected, in the way that we expected? So you can set that up. And then the return on investment that I already mentioned. But even though we know all these things, we know what we can measure, it's just so important to set this up before we do anything. And have it really clear what we want to measure and how we want to measure so that the measurement can actually happen.